resources together for a couple weeks if I don't spend any money on anything except just the basic essentials just to survive. It'd be nice to go out and fix my car and go travel and go to Crestone, go to Salida, go hiking, but that isn't going to happen with a few bucks or $100. I'm going to have to apply that to the basic survival stuff that I need. I need to buy a cook stove. I've been borrowing that stove since this one right here broke. I walked by this. They make these things so, the construction of some of these. This was a Walmart stove, okay? There's nothing but Walmart out here to get cook stoves. I found that to be really, really disappointing. And I don't even want to start going off on that. But this shit only lasts me a few months. So I gotta rely on my other neighbor over there who helped me out using, by letting me use that stove. But which by the way, I gotta check my quinoa. I can't just use people's stuff continuously, I need to have my own stuff. So if you're going to be in that situation and be completely independent, then you got to be willing to live with less. You got to be willing to live with no one. There's not a whole lot of women that want to have anything to do with a guy like me that's living off the grid with nothing. But you like the videos, and that's cool. Better than nothing. So you need to keep this in perspective that when you go out off the grid, you're going to have certain challenges. And you're going to have certain human rattlesnakes try to bite you when you get close to them. So don't be afraid to meet people. Don't be afraid to, go out in the middle of nowhere like me, shed all of what you had materially and just like a child, on a new planet, in a new reality, just being very open to new experiences. But children are oftentimes molested. And I mean that literally, but also metaphorically. Us as children, sometimes we get molested by others that have that rape energy because that's what they understand. Take from the child, take from the child, take from the child. So they see someone that's childlike, that has the godlike nature in their eyes. They can see that their eyes are different. They can see that my eyes are different, that my genetics are different. Instead of embrace that uniqueness, it's like, must crush the Atsuri! Must crush the Atsuri! And that's their deal. So I'm working on becoming increasingly independent, not getting hurt when people hurt me, learning that these people are my teachers. They're reminding me that hatred is everywhere. It's not just in the city, it's off the grid, but love is everywhere. And you can find that in a way, when you build those right relationships, you can experience more of that here off the grid. And I thank God for people like Ryan. I'm going to be meeting Scott soon. He's going to be moving out here from Kansas, and we're going to be building some property. We're going to his property. I've met some other good people, and but they really can't be counted on more than one hand. In another video that I posted a few months ago, I talked about helping a guy dig his greenhouse. As you know, marijuana is legal here. Hemp is legal here. For those that are getting arrested, civil disobedience is all good, but protests only do so much. So it's better that you work, use your effort to create a freer life for yourself instead of kicking a dead horse. And the United States, as we know it, is a fucking dead horse. I don't know if anybody got you that memo, but you need to get out while there's time. Just take my advice. And I was helping this other guy for a few months dig his home. And this guy was really into thumping the Bible and calling everybody out here a Satanist because they didn't want to basically be a slave. He wanted everybody to come and do this community utopia, kind of like what I'm talking about, but very, very different. His idea of a utopia sounds like a fucking nightmare, straight out of fucking Lucifer's rattlesnake den. Speaking of rattlesnakes, of which I've said the word twice now, I saw my first rattlesnake about an hour ago, hunting a little baby rabbit. That scared the living shit out of me, but I think the rattlesnake was more scared of me because it disappeared under the yurt. That's right, under my feet is a fucking rattlesnake den. But it disappeared under my feet and probably went into a hole, into a fucking labyrinth, just like the fucking reptilians. Underground structures, hiding in the dark. But it's interesting how the rattlesnake was more afraid of me than I was of it, and realized that I was hunting it. It wasn't hunting me. It's aware that I was walking around the yurt with my BB gun just waiting to pop it, because when you pop a rattlesnake with a BB gun, it will fucking bite itself to death. Problem solved. Hey, if it comes down between the rattlesnakes and the bunnies, I gotta tell you, I'm with the bunnies. I got so much to learn about being independent all the way. I have so much more to learn about really making a dollar bill stretch and budgeting out. I'm gonna have to start budgeting every dime, every quarter. I'm not joking, and take sacrifices, and not buy certain things or even certain foods, but to discipline myself to live on the bare basics. For example, let me tell you what I'm gonna have for lunch. What I'm gonna have for lunch, because I have no refrigeration, is I'm going to be. And thank you, Crystal. I'm gonna be eating. Crystal? How did you know? How did you know? I'm gonna be eating some lettuce. Crystal is the wife of a very good friend of mine. In fact, this friend of mine's been one of the best friends I've ever had in my entire life. He's up there with Gunner. I got my quinoa, right? And I've got a little sriracha. Ooh, this stuff you guys gotta see. Okay? Habanero hot sauce. Huh? And we've got a little bit of the, I was just saying to the universe, Alex Ansari's DNA seems to be telling Alex Ansari's cerebral cortex that I've got to eat more ginger. And here I got some salad here. It's got some ginger in it. And, I got to be willing to live really, really simply. You know, that means no refrigeration. I have no power. I'm making this video now with the power that I have, but pretty soon this battery will be dead and I won't be able to charge it for a couple of days. That's okay. I've got books I probably could be reading, right? I've got some exercise that I probably should get back into and start working on some of the other, things that I was doing a couple months ago and get back to that level. Meditation. Grounding myself to the core of the earth. Things of that nature, tapping into my spiritual higher self and bringing the knowledge down to the consciousness that exists in the brain here. There is writing, and there's so many other things that I could be doing other than socialize with people that want me to be dependent on them, and when I'm dependent on them, hurt me emotionally because they've located right where my buttons are. And that's, as we wrap this up here, that's the warning. The warning is, when you go out off the grid, be careful who you meet. Be careful what you tell people. Be careful when you share your YouTube channel with them and you share with them that you're a conscious being, if you are someone that shares content, or if you just have different ideas, because it can come back. I don't want to say to haunt you. It doesn't haunt me, but it can come back to sting you emotionally. And maybe I'm here to learn how to become stronger, because I feel like I got a lot of trauma inside me. I got trauma that I inherited from my mother and my father, and all the abuse I went through as a child. I went through a lot of trauma, through relationships that failed, and the heartache that still lives inside of me, and the feelings of self-worthlessness because I don't have any money, and there are certain people that never even talk to me anymore because they see me as some sort of bum who's living off the grid, and I'm not living like a rat in the city anymore, so they've lost respect for me. It's like there's trauma there, and sometimes I relive the trauma, and I have nightmares, here where I sleep on the couch every day because I actually don't have a regular bed. But as you can see, this place ain't so bad. It's not so anti-woman. A woman's touch might do amazing things, but maybe in the next life. And so that's about all I want to say. This is a really abstract ranting video. It feels good to do it. It feels good to share. Sometimes I stutter. Sometimes I misenunciate something. I don't give a fuck. Maybe there's something that you can take away from the honesty that I share in these videos, where I literally show you my heart, and I guess in some videos show you my chest, remind you what a hairy beast I am, for all you dumb motherfuckers that think I was a metrosexual before. Oh God, Oh God, the fucking perceptions people got, the words people use. People know not what they do. People know not the effect of their words. Um, so, so I feel that I'm here to heal from some of those traumas in the city, failed relationships, family breakups, times where I worked for other people where they took full advantage of me. It was in 2009 that after 5 years, I quit working at the Ruth's Chris Steakhouse because they laid me off because I wasn't conforming and taking abuse at the way that they were expecting. So I helped open the Portland Preparedness Center after doing some promotions for about a year for survivalcenter.com, a website that if you buy shit from that website, you're a fucking idiot because it means that you don't know how to look up individual items on your own on eBay and get them at a cheaper price. And the Portland Preparedness Center, 72nd and Northeast Gleason, I fucking opened that store. But it's the 7-Eleven for preppers that want the convenience and don't really want to go and price out each individual item. Maybe get their own bucket. Maybe get their own Gamma Seal lid. Maybe get their own 25-pound bucket of organic quinoa. Whoops. That wasn't good. You gotta be willing to do the work. So I've done the good work that needs to be done, the sharing of information, the sharing of ideas, and I'm working on myself, and I'm sharing those things. And there will be a time where some of you are like, we've got to get the fuck out of here. My only recommendation is you start thinking about it now. You start planning, you start learning about solar. You start learning about how to be independent, how to work with other people, but you've got to learn to be independent, to be able to go get your own water, to find enough Federal Reserve notes if you need Federal Reserve notes, to power your vehicle, to put gas in your vehicle if your car is not already converted to some sort of free energy device. People can kind of, do a mental masturbation thing about it and go, oh yeah, why do you fucking use gas? You're not off the grid. Compared to those that live in the city that drive miles and miles and miles and miles every single day just to go to a shitty job that they don't like, to get Federal Reserve notes that, they really shouldn't need in nature, but they need in the so-called natural world in the city to eat and to pay their rent. That's not natural. That's not sustainable. So it makes no sense to attack people for making the effort to be somewhat freer than that which they were. So I'm not perfect. I'm not totally off the grid, but I'm outside of the grid. There is no power here. There is no running water here. There is no toilet here, but there is an outhouse. Is that off the grid enough for you? It's more off the grid than what most people are living like. There are people with off the grid homes that are actually put together fairly well, where they have toilets and running water and ability to take a shower and ability to cook food. Again, I won't have a stove here in about a week, so I don't know what I'll be eating then. I don't know how I'll be able to cook my quinoa then. I don't know if I can apply the money that Justin and Ruben sent me to a stove, because it's got to go to other basic survival needs like transportation. Plus, I'm not going to give Walmart another $20 to $25 for a stove that will fucking break on me. I'm just not going to do that. Maybe I'll look online. But take something from these videos, man. Woman, man, humans, robots, archons, reptilians. Silly mortals, men and women of the listening and viewing audience. Take what you can from this. Don't be negative. Don't just post a negative comment. Oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? Oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? What about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? Oh, he's cooking steak on a rock. You really could put a whole bunch of rocks together and make a big stove. And I was like looking at comments of this picture I posted. I'm like, you fucking idiots. My friends, but my fellow idiots. Why criticize? I'm just trying to do what I can do and show you that you can do it too. But no, the stove wasn't big enough. The stove wasn't good enough. Oh my God. All right, I've reached the 30-minute mark. I've used a lot of power today. I won't be able to charge this for a few days. I'm going to be stranded here in the yurt because I don't have any money, and the money's not coming in for a few days. So I'm going to be right here until I talk to you next time. Thank you for watching.